Real Talk with Mo.
Oh, there you guys are.
Sorry, bro.
There you guys are.
Mo and Mo podcast.
We were waiting for you. You were like, can you call out your own podcast? God, so if you look, the hair's starting to grow in. Look at that shit. It looks nice, boy. I
balled it down, boy. You see that hairline receding, boy? My wife love it, so it's all good.
That's all good, bro. It looks good.
Shit.
Nice shirt.
Yeah.
You got the shit going, and the necklaces. They go real well.
Chain,
so what he has here, so this is for men, by the way, just so you guys know. This is called stacking. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, stacking.
He's stacking them.
Yeah,
boom, boom. Double chain, double necklace.
Yeah,
if y'all don't know about it, check me in another podcast, bro. I'll tell you all about men's fashion, about men's gear. You know what I'm saying? How to keep it going. You know, keep it looking good, looking fresh. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. I look like a damn Miami Vice in this bitch.
Yeah, I mean, what up, Tubbs?
What's up?
You don't even know nobody. If you under 30, you don't even know Miami Vice.
You don't even know what Tubbs is. Boom, that's a dragon scale right there. Dragon scale
watch,
on that watch. Boom, I don't know why I have
dragon
that.
bees.
Boom, look, I have a double. Look, that's called
double
stacking.
Whammy.
It's called
Cock
stacking.
rings.
We're going to teach you about men's fashion in another podcast, but I just want to let y'all know it's coming. It's coming. Anyway, so time to get into it. We want to talk about help. We want to help the youth, bro. That's really what we're looking. That's really what this podcast is about. So we want to explain to you guys something real quick. With you young whippersnappers. The grind. Life is a fucking grind. It'll grind you into a fine fucking powder if you let it. But life does not give a fuck about you. It's hard, it's tough, but at the end of the day, it's all how you look at it. It's all about perspective. But it's also about action, right? I think that more than anything, especially if you're a man. When we were growing up, whether it was the hood and his situation, or whether it was in my situation where it was a lot of gay shit, whatever. But white people shit. I'm just kidding. It's it's just a lot of shit. Like I went through a lot of fucking crazy shit.
Everybody has their own
story.
Right?
So it's grinding, right? Like me and Mo recently went on a trip to South Carolina, and we both grew up in this business together. So we haven't worked together in a while. So the yappity yap, the talk and shit, like, oh, I'm really good now, let me show you, or he's doing really good, even, he's getting, old and shit. But we get to this place, middle of nowhere, never been here in our lives, but it's not about, we stayed at a crummy hotel, ate shitty food, everybody talks like this, and like, hey, real quick, blah, blah, blah. And if you get an opportunity to stop by Buc-ee's, definitely stop there.
It's on the way. Yeah.
But it was about the grind, bro. We went in there. We're going to get paid. How much are we getting paid? All right, whatever. We'll talk about it at the end of what we're doing. The guy has the schematics, the thing. We have to come up with the design, how we're going to do it. The guy we were working with kind of like showed us what to do. He went off and did his own thing. Me and him are underneath the house laughing. Dude, I don't think we could work with anybody and be under our house as dirty as I am with dirt in my nose and not. I think we laughed 100 times. Laughed our ass off.
The whole day.
Underneath there, busting our ass, killing it, thinking about the time clock, working extra hours, working later because we wanted to get back home to our families, right? But we're grinding. We're getting it done. And if we have a different mentality, or let's say they could be different. We both get there and you're tired, you don't want to. I don't want to. Or I'm not what I said I was.
It's not in my blood.
It's not in there, bro. We were like, we got to get this done, and we got it done in way less than the time we were supposed to be there, and got home early because we have a grind mentality. But the reason is because what we did already. We grinded already our entire careers up to that moment. So grind-wise, like,
a lot of people have the mentality. I mean, a lot of people have the thought. Like, they want to grind, they want to be big, they want to be rich, they want to be famous, whatever it is. They have this. Everybody has it. Like, everybody, you talk to anybody, you tell them about a dream, tell them about, what they want to do with their life, right? Most people, let me say most people, because some people will tell you they never thought about it and they ain't doing it. But most people who do, they'll tell you. But they don't understand the grind to get to it. And the work and the sacrifice and everything that goes along with that.
It's not about talking shit. It's
right?
about it's
and
about
the action that they need to take. A lot of people like to talk nowadays and not do and take any action. So there's a lot of people, the grind doesn't lie. Like, and then you got to be honest with yourself. Like,
yes.
I've tried other ventures and it was me that didn't work it. right? It wasn't a venture for the most part. It wasn't the whatever it was me, right? So I had to look at certain things like that, and I know myself that way. Like I should have did more. I should have pushed more. I should have been grinding more. I should have been on it, but I wasn't. A lot of people want to cheat the grind, right? They'll even lie about it. They'll say it wasn't them. It was whatever the venture was, or whatever the thing was, or the job, or the management, or whatever it is, right? I just don't have time for that. I think just talking about it and just doing that doesn't do anything. Like I hate being around people that complain about the job or the environment that they're in and all that. It doesn't do anything at the end of the day.
It doesn't push your momentum forward.
But you got to go in there, put your head down, and just push at whatever that is, whatever the venture is or whatever it is, and you just push. And if you don't win, you still can get something out of it.
100%.
Right? So that's the thing that I think people like. They hate to. Nobody likes to fail. Right? Nobody likes to do something and get zero out of it. Right? But a lot of people think they've done 150% when they barely did 10. And that's what, especially nowadays, and this probably goes back even before that. I wouldn't even blame it on the newer generation. But there's a lot of people that think they did really a lot of shit. If you talk to some people, they really tell you like they did a lot of stuff. And then you're like, where are you at now? You're where you want to be. And they're like, no. That tells you a lot, because if you did all this and you were 150% in and you
I would see it in your character.
You would see it. I mean, you would see it out in the open too.
I would see it in your character already.
Yeah, I would see. I could tell. But then when I put you in a situation when you gotta show me your grind, and you show me nothing, right? And you show me complaining, then I know you haven't been grinding. So it's like, you can hear all the success stories you want to, right? And people could tell you these stories about how they used to sleep in their car and work till 12 at night and have 3 jobs before they finally started their comedy career or whatever it was, right?
Watch their work, watch their craft, and see how they are in their craft, and you're like, man, you didn't do any of that.
Some people want to cheat that. They want to skip that process.
There's no, what are these to call
comedians? I've been to every comedy show this side of the East Coast and had to go West Coast, and then finally, about 12 years later, I'm here. People want to be like, oh no, I'm gonna do it in 2. I'm gonna do it no, you can't cheat the grind.
There's no fast lane, bro.
You cannot cheat the grind, bro. The grind is the grind. And if anybody's telling you differently, I've been seeing books and tell me your story. Let me hear the people, especially people writing the books. Let me hear your story and how fast you jump from 0 to 100, right? And then also what you got to do.
There's no grind life hack.
Yeah, there's no way.
No hack.
The grind, because it doesn't lie, man. It's like putting a seed in the ground and getting an apple tree the next day. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna take however long that apple tree takes. It's gonna take for you, for me, for Louis. No matter his soil, my soil, it's gonna take the same amount of time for that tree to grow.
100%.
And that's the same thing with your grind as far as what you're focused on. If it's like going to school, right? You can't cheat school, right? So school is 1 to 12, and then college, right? Whatever that's 4, 6 years for a master's, whatever that is. You can't skip the 6 years. You can't skip the 12. You can't go from 1 to 13 and then go to college, right? You just can't. You could skip a class. You could skip a grade. Take me literally, and you could skip a grade. I heard there was a young kid just now graduated, went to college at like 13, right? He's like a genius, one of a kind type of person. So you can get ahead, but you can't cheat the grind. Like people come to work, and I can already tell their work ethic is not up to par. It's not up with mine. Like you're not gonna outwork me anyways, but for sure, like you don't have it in you, right? To be a work like a dog, right? Yeah. Work like a dog. So, and I see it older, I see it in younger, right? And the only thing I would say as a young person, man, that you have the youth. You have the age, right? You have the time,
and you have the ability to work. Like there's some old folk right now where they're there in their 40s or in their 60s, they're still working. Yeah. They can't work like they used to, and they got hip to the game too late, and now they want to grind. Your body can't keep up now. Yeah. Your body's too tired. Your body's like your health has declined, whatever it is.
And that's what I because I've been reading. I've read a lot of books, and then I see more of these books that are more pushing towards like, go from here to here type of thing. And I think, those books also, people my age or people a little older than me or people a little younger, you also got to see where you're at in life too, right? Like if you're a 25-year-old with 10 kids, right? and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is taking care of your kids, then your grind is gonna be different. Like you're gonna have to substitute some things, because if not, you're either gonna sacrifice, the time with your kids, or you're gonna sacrifice the time if you are married, right?
Yeah.
Something. You got to give something.
Yeah.
You got to give something to the grind. You got to sacrifice something to the grind, but you also have to be working really hard. And that's something that I learned too. That in my other ventures, that I wasn't working probably as hard as I should, or as hard as I could.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff I wasn't gonna sacrifice.
Well,
so that's why I have to adapt my grind, so that I could try to get everything I want. I probably won't get everything I want at the end of the day, and nobody has.
What got us to the position the spot where we are is the grind, because we understood the game, we understood the grind, and we went our direction. We went and used that momentum in that grind to keep going forward. Fuck it. Anything anytime I'm questioning my pay, I'm questioning management, I'm questioning something that's going on in my life, I'm questioning something, and I'm not happy in the situation, I shut my mouth and I grind. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna figure this out later. I'm gonna put a pin in this right now. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna bust my ass. I'm gonna work late, extra late. I'm gonna do everything I can today to maximize the day, and then I do the same thing every day until that week's up. Then I go back to unpin it and look back at it, and it's not as important as I thought it was. Or if it is super important, I have a different perspective, because I recognize, dude, you worked your ass off, which I just did on that week. You worked your ass off your whole life for this one moment. How are you going to get to that moment now? Now I have a better perspective on my grind, how long and how hard it took me to get from point A to point B. And I can't allow that little bullshit or that little fickle shit, the little dumb shit to bother me or affect my forward momentum.
And the thing is too, and this goes for a lot of people, right? Everybody can't be a boss.
No.
Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. And this is just factual shit, because if everybody was an entrepreneur, everybody was a boss, there'd be no workers. Some people are workers. Some people you're going to work, right? Working is less... It's like it has benefits too. Being a worker has benefits. It depends on where your life is structured, but it does for people, right? You can always try to do more, but you got to get to work doing something. Right? You can't just sit around. You got to do something.
You got to go.
And I think a lot of people want to sit back and want it to drop into their lap, like this opportunity of a lifetime thing. It doesn't really happen like that. No. It happens when you're out, right? And you're out and about doing things.
Doing the thing.
And doing whatever you're supposed to be doing. That's when those opportunities happen, that luck happens.
Yeah.
So you got to get out and do it.
And you got to talk to people. Like we were talking about earlier, we got to talk to people too. Like some of the reasons why we became successful, gotten to this point in our lives, is talking and having good relations with everybody, having good relationships with other people, having good conversations with other people, seeing where they're coming from, understanding their perspective, understanding the boss's perspective. Because if anybody works with me and they recognize, it's not, there's a mentality of a worker, then there's a mentality of a manager. There's a mentality of a worker, then there's a mentality of a supervisor, right? This is the facts. This is a company that I work for, and anybody who watches this this is the secret sauce. It's the grind. It's because I work hard, and I'm gonna work harder than everybody else, and nobody's gonna stop me. Nobody. It's never gonna happen. It doesn't matter if I lose this job tomorrow. I can lose all my money. You could set me at zero. No kid, no wife, no job. Because I've already got through that grind so hard and busting my ass so much. And it could be in any field you're working in. It could be a lawyer, doctor, whatever. Because I did it, you could drop me in the middle of nowhere with zero. And I promise you, within a matter of a couple months, I'm going to be right back in the same position. Because I know what it takes to get to this point. There's no shortcuts. There's no angles I can shoot. You have to grind. You have to work. All the mentality shit, right? I can speak a lot better than I used to, so I could talk my way into situations. But when you get there, you have to show up. And you have to show up with that grind mentality. You have to show up with that work ethic. That nobody else is going to stop me. You can't... One thing I recognized when I was younger, especially when I was dealing with companies, and I'm dealing with a lot of people that were smarter than me, was in the midst of the conversation, I recognized where my position was. And I'm like, if the guy doesn't believe in me, if the guy doesn't like me, if the boss or the manager or whoever it is doesn't appreciate the work that I'm putting in, I shut up and grind. If they don't, it's going to be undeniable. And there's zero that any of those people that thought that I couldn't make it in this position could do to stop me to get here. And that's a fact. Because for sure, They tried, and they fucking epically failed. But because I grinded my ass off, you could say he's not making enough money for the company. You could say he's not great with the customer. But does he work? He grind. Yeah, that motherfucker works. That's one thing that you cannot say. So if you could you could take it all away. But I added all those other extra elements because of the grind and because I was while I was grinding and doing my job and busting my ass as hard as I can, sitting in attics, thinking I was gonna give up. I'm gonna die in this attic. Pushing forward anyway, showing myself that I had way more in the tank than I thought I did. And like you said, with that, some people don't even give 10%. I always have that mentality of, am I really giving 100? If not, because I'm gonna quit right now. I'm about to quit this job and quit this whole. This is stupid. I go back into the grind mode and go, no, you got another 50% in the tank. Keep going.
You gotta grind. Mm-hmm. It's in that. It's like there's no way around it.
You can't stop it. And I don't want somebody else to be I don't want nobody working harder than me. I want to be able to outwork them.
Yeah, and like I said, nowadays people want to be a YouTube star, right? But we still grinding. Right, so it's like
we just busted our ass all week, and by the way, we still do this.
Yeah, we still do this because like if you have time, right, and you see what's important, and you value your time, and you value who it's with, and if you have family, if you don't have a wife, whatever it is, you gotta kind of make time for everything. That's why, it goes back to like, part of yours was like the way life, like how life will eat you alive, right? Mm-hmm. Because life can be either really busy and real fulfilling, or it could seem like a drag on of the worst movie ever, right? Yeah. It could be like,
it's like, wow, this is fun.
You can't wait for the day to be over type of thing. And that's about mentality about also too. But if you're grinding and working, then you don't have time to really dig into that. And I think it goes back to what we had in the last video about like rewiring. How I was saying, more people are diagnosing themselves with all sorts of like shit nowadays, and self-diagnosis, and even the psychiatrists or the psychologists, whatever one that is, they're like listening to this shit, and they're like, oh my god, you need this medicine or some pills, or you need to see me more often, or whatever it is. I think if you just sat and grinded, right? If it was school and you went to school and you did everything you can in school and you're doing your college courses or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that you focused on, YouTube, if you're focused on whatever it is, eventually it's going to pay out, right? It's going to pay out. Either you're going to learn from something or you're going to just keep, and you don't fail. You just either learn or you move on, right? I either learned something from this venture or I didn't. And I do that with every type of venture that I get involved in. Anything that's going on is I either learn what not to do or what I should have did or what I wasn't doing right, and then I move on. I don't lose because I gained the knowledge and the wisdom.
Correct.
From that. So I think you need to but you have to be moving. Like if you're standing still, you can't get anything.
That's when we're talking about that action is super important.
Yeah, if you're standing still, you can't learn anything.
Remember, Moses used to be like, "What do you need?" Like that thing where you just always the thinker. He's just thinking all the time. Thinking. You can think all you want. The thinking is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but that means nothing without the action.
That statue's still behind you. Like the guy's still there.
You gotta go to work.
You gotta be moving.
You gotta go to work, bro. You gotta work.
He's a stone. He was a stone statue. Just sits there. You can't do that and be making money. Like you can't do that and be fulfilling in your life. And it's not about money. It's having a life that's fulfilled with, action and stuff, man. Like you just.
When we talk about religion too, like with God and the devil. Where I was thinking about this the other day. The devil will, or something
say
similar.
Idle hands are the work of the devil.
Something similar, yeah, something similar to that. But what I was thinking about was like, just before you get the gift that God gave, the destination He had for you, just before you get, I'll be honest with you, just before I got the supervisor position I'm at and became the lead tech, lead boss, all that shit, just before I got there, 2 months before that, everything went to shit. I don't know what the fuck happened. It just randomly went to shit. And just before, it was like literally right around the corner. And I just worked 5 years at maybe 4.5 to 5 years to get to that level. To finally get there. And everything didn't look like it was going to happen. And I'm like, damn, what the hell? And you know what I did? I shut the fuck up. And I swear to God, I grinded. And I just waited. I just held it out. The devil likes to take that to see if he can knock you off course.
It's a test.
He tries to see if he can test you out to see what you really, really want. How hard are you going to work? And literally, a month after that, boom, all the things that I've been working my ass off for all happened because I didn't give up. And I swear to God, I used to give up just before I got to that point. Just before I got there, I used to go, I'm gonna find another job. I gotta move on to another thing. This time, I said I always do that. Let me this time, shut up and grind and see what happens. And I did, and boom, money went up. All the things that I worked on, and then some, by the way. Not just the things that I wanted. It was way more behind all of this that got me to where, but that I got out of shutting up and grinding, instead of just quitting or walking away from the situation.
Yeah, it's a test, bro. That's life is a test, so don't fail.
When your life is at its worst, just hold on a little bit more. Do a couple more reps. I promise you, the next few months will be that's the moment when it happens. When you finally reach that next level, when you finally reach that next plateau, and you're like, damn, and now you got to reset, rewire, and figure out some new shit you're gonna do. Let's set up the next goal, because it's coming.
Yeah, you got it, and then there gotta be another goal. You gotta keep going after that. So don't cheat the grind, because we'll know.
Shut up and grind, bro.
Bitch. Oh, sorry.